Speaking of former Hurricanes, were you mad that Texas A&M lost this weekend because you wanted to go in there and beat them next week?
Well, I still don't think that we're going to beat them. The line has gone down to 4.5 in some places. It was actually holding steady at 7.5 for a very long time, which I found encouraging. I am bummed. College game day was certainly going to be there. And not only did Appalachian State ruin Texas A&M's season, they also sold their game day. So it's going to dilute the experience somewhat, but
not for Aggies fans, because we got a Power 5 team coming in. Mario Cristobal's done a good job recruiting at the U, but I think we're going to have a big weekend, bounce back. And, the 12th man will be there to support us, Dan. So I'm looking forward to it, and we're going to get back on track here.
Van Dyke going after the game and throwing at night with his receivers. How do you feel about that?
Well, Tyler Van Dyke, have we announced this? Can we formally announce?
Can we announce it?
Yes,
Should we announce it?
I know that the deals are done and compliance is approved, and we are all signed and good to go. Huge announcement. The LeBatard Show has signed NIL deals with 2-star University of Miami athletes. Destiny Harden on the women's hoop side. She destroyed Louisville during the ACC tournament last year, ripped out their heart, Louisville. And Tyler Van Dyke, star quarterback, Tyler Van Dimes, is our first NIL athlete along with Destiny Harden. As part of that, they have to show up to the Cyclones game on September 30th because this is our philanthropic effort. We got a highlight team, the Cessa Cyclones, and we were told that if we won the Battle Corps Championship, which we did, we had to donate that money to charity, and we decided NIL was charity.
Every other team is doing like children's hospitals, and we're going to have Tyler Van Dyke at the game.
Up. Yeah, he just has to sit in that owner's box while Chris Cody wears a cowboy hat and walks around with a cane.
He should tell us to keep our money. He really should. He should tell us to keep our money in exchange for not having to go do that.
But it's a national spotlight for our NIL athlete, so you have more reason to root for TVD against Texas A&M. I am not. Now it's like, it kind of feels like Miami almost has to win this game because they lost to Appalachian State, and I don't necessarily know. But I am very confused as to what's happened to Texas A&M. They've recruited very well. They have a bunch of 5-stars on that team. And if you would tell me 4 years into the Mario Cristobal experiment, they're struggling at home against Appalachian State the way that Manny Diaz did last year and needed a field goal at the end to win, I'd be up in arms about it. I'd be furious, and it seems as though it's already catching up to Jimbo over there. People are criticizing that offense and everything.
I got to give respect to Appalachian State. They played a great game. They controlled the ball well. We didn't have a lot of answers for them on defense. We have a new defensive coordinator this season. You should know. Our defensive coordinator left. He's a head coach now in the ACC. We don't want to talk about him anymore. But it's not going to happen next weekend against Miami, I'll tell you that much. We're a better team. I believe in our guys.
Can I already be offended by their midnight yell on Friday? May I? Because I saw their midnight yell video against Appalachian State, and you want to talk about a wheelbarrow full of balls. College Station, big timing Boone, North Carolina, as if it's something like small town Appalachia.
They don't even know how to read there.
Yeah, like your College Station. Like, what are we doing? And also, it's a cult. They know they're a cult. It's very disarming when they say they're a cult, too.
Be careful, Mac.
Are you guys enjoying that as they give $8 billion to the conferences, the Sun Belt runs everything in college football?
They deserve some of those billions. I saw a stat that the 3 teams that went on the road, was it Marshall, Appalachian State? Who was the third one?
Georgia Southern.
Which
got Scott Frost fired. Did you know that Clay Helton was the head coach at Georgia Southern?
Clue.
I didn't know that Trev Alberts, the former Nebraska player, was the guy with the rights to fire him. Like, they put in the interim coach. I had no idea that Trev Alberts was the AD there.
Those Sun Belt teams, though, got a combined $4.2 million to win those games.
That's why they call it the Fun Belt, Chris Whittingham.
On the A&M subject, by the way, I saw that they have more 5-star recruits in last year's recruiting cycle than Appalachian State has top 1,000 prospects on their team. They have 6 top 1,000 prospects on their entire roster, and A&M had 8 5-stars last recruiting class.
Texas A&M has apparently a really good quarterback that's a true freshman. That might be the move for Jimbo Fisher headed into Miami. They have the transfer from LSU in Johnson. I think King might start that game just because he's mobile. And if Miami's susceptible to anything on defense that they've shown this year is that a mobile quarterback can get some yards on them. But Texas A&M, that fan base is really pissed off. And if King shows up out there at quarterback, I'm not sure that's a move either. Very curious. For all the resources Texas A&M has, for all the 5-star recruits that they have along those trenches, to be getting bullied by the likes of Appalachian State in the trenches, to not really have a quarterback you can trust. And this is going to be his 5th recruiting cycle over there for Jimbo Fisher. They are mad. Huge mad, and they should be.
How many plays did A&M run? They ran like 35 plays or something like that. Yeah, Appalachian State had the ball for 41 minutes in this game.
Cam Peoples, though, that you saw last year against Miami. They have a pro running back in Appalachian
They ran
State.
52 times.
You guys mentioned briefly Iowa, and I saw a stat that I've not been able to verify. I don't know if what I'm about to read you is true, but it sounds true. Even though it comes from someone called Cyclone Larry, who I imagine is an Iowa State fan.
Dangerous start to this.
Okay, but I don't know if it's true, but you tell me if it sounds true. Since 1897, in games where an offense scores 4 points or fewer and gets less than 170 yards, the record is 7 and 17,456. Now, I don't know if it's true, just sounds true. Iowa has 6 of those wins. And allegedly, they're 6-0-4 in those games, while the rest of the country is .0057 in those games.
Hawkeye football. Hawkeye football.
That can't be true.
No, it is. I heard that on Shutdown Fullcast. The Shutdown Fullcast was your go-to for El Asico preview because they were, Iowa won a game last week, part of the record, where they scored 7 points. They did not score a touchdown. It was a field goal.
I was in
2 safeties.
Yeah, I was infuriated by their quarterback. I watched the game with my fist clenched. I watched the whole game angry at Iowa for scoring more points in safeties than they did on offense.
Yeah, it should be a grit of death punishment game. Watch an entire Iowa football game, start to finish.
Yes,
commercials and all.
But if Kirk Ferentz gets fired, then the punishment is annulled.
He will never get fired.